With spring around the corner, it's a good time to stock up on C60 Evo's breakthrough longevity and well-being products. Treat yourself, your skin, mental focus, and deeper sleep to C60 Evo organic edible oils, skin serums, and hair renewal. Using Nobel Prize-winning science, their lab manufactures and delivers pure C60 ESS60, the cleanest and most potent C60 products you'll find anywhere. Healthy food, clean water, exercise, and C60 Evo are your best defense for radiant health and longevity. Old dogs can learn new tricks, and cats love it too. Everyone benefits from C60 Evo. Enjoy 15 to 20% off on monthly subscriptions and collection sets. Use our personal code INSPIREDCHANNEL for 10% off at checkout. You know, Christine and I have tried these products ourselves, and we personally recommend them. Feeling is believing, and they've got you covered. Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the notifications button so you'll get notified about new videos every day. Boy, aren't we living through interesting and exciting times. And I know for a lot of people, exciting doesn't really come up as we face yet another systemic collapse, the collapse of the financial and banking system. If you want to learn about the ins and outs and the latest about this, please hop over to the Inspired Newsroom. That's our second channel here on YouTube. This, of course, this video will take a more spiritual perspective. And I want to start with 4 spiritual laws that I've talked about in the past that I'm always reminded of whenever there's a challenging situation. These laws come in very handy. And the first law is, whatever happens is the only thing that could have happened. The second law is, whomever you encounter is the right person. The third law is, whenever something begins, it's the right time. And the fourth law is, when something is over, it's over. And we could go backwards here. When something's over is a really good beginning. If we look at the current system, if we look at this colossal, monumental, oppressive system, then we must realize it is over. We are in the middle stages of the collapse, if you will. We're nowhere near the end, and it's happening in a pancake kind of manner, but it is happening, and it is over. There's nothing to go back to. There's no back to normal. There's no saving what is in place. It is a corrupt system. It is designed to disenfranchise the people. It is designed to control the people. It has served its purpose in the eyes of those who've created it, and now they want to move the people into an even more oppressive, even more tyrannical, and kind of absolute system. So then you move to the third law. Whenever something begins, it's the right time. Well, how about the beginning of a completely new way of looking at things, of co-creating? And this is what I'm referring to here. We are in the beginning stages, and this old system must die. We all agree on that. That's the one thing all sides agree on. But the beginning stages of this new way are really, really exciting as well. They are not decided at the World Economic Forum or the United Nations. They're not decided in the governments of the world. They're decided in the hearts, the spirits, and the minds of the people of the world as they awaken to who they truly are. And what kind of guidance might we need for these times? Well, I would like to remind you of the 10 Native American commandments. Very beautiful. Let's watch this together.
Treat the earth and all that dwell thereon with respect. Remain close to the Great Spirit. Show great respect for your fellow beings. Work together for the benefit of all mankind. Give assistance and kindness wherever needed. Do what you know to be right. Look after the well-being of mind and body. Dedicate a share of your efforts to the greater good. Be truthful and honest at all times. Take full responsibility for your actions.
So as we need a guidance system, as we need a moral compass and a spiritual foundation, I believe these laws, and you can look at these laws through the Christian lens, you could look at these laws through any other religious lens, or just through a very common sense, open, broad spiritual lens, as they, I think, give us a lot of very, very positive guidance. And we have to transcend the current political ideas and the boxes that most everybody is in and realize that these really, truly good principles have no political home and they don't have a stamp. They've just been hijacked by the people who do wish to control us. And it is our current greatest intention to step out of the problem, reaction, solution cycle, where those who seek to control us are consistently working with this cycle. They have a solution in mind, right? So they create a problem, then we react to, and they present the solution. That's the same with every crisis we've ever faced. Most of the crises in your life that you have ever faced were completely man-made and did not really have to happen. But as we know from the spiritual laws, it probably couldn't have been any other way. The third law, if we go backwards, or the second law, was whomever you encounter is the right person. And this I lead back to family, friendship, community, something that we talk about a lot, very important, that we realize that the people that come into our lives, they come into our lives for a reason. Oftentimes, they challenge us, and that challenge triggers something. You can't be triggered unless you're loaded, so whatever is triggered inside of you is a great gift because it finally reveals to you something that wants to be seen, heard, healed. And so when a person triggers a negative reaction inside of you, it is just as meaningful as when a person triggers a positive reaction or comes with positive intentions into your life. And so this kind of acceptance is a lifelong study. You can learn these 4 laws and memorize them in a few minutes, but if you really want to live them, it is a lifelong study where you go back and go, oh yeah, I can see the wisdom in this. I can see this isn't just an inspirational quote on somebody's social media account. And the first law, or the fourth, if we go backwards, was whatever happened is the only thing that could have happened. It is also acceptance. It means acceptance to stop questioning, what could we have done differently and had we done this? This only keeps us from being in a present moment and actually taking inspired action in the moment here. That's why these laws are so inspiring to me, because they allow us to pull ourselves in the present moment where our greatest power is. And I want to encourage you, and I want to put your mind at ease a little bit and realize we are in these times, we're living through them, but our perspective, our minds, our consciousness, our spirit is consistently expanding and awakening to greater truths and greater capabilities. We have such amazing capabilities within us, and we can't even imagine how far that will go the more we allow it to happen. But for something new to be created, the old has to collapse, and the old has to be destroyed, if you will. And this is what is happening. This is what we're living through. It is nothing to be feared. It is something to be celebrated. If we can pull our empowerment, our inspiration back to us and take the inspired action that we need to take to finally move away from the position of being subjects and citizens and being participants and being consumers. That's the way we were portrayed for the longest times, where we were kind of those passive peasants, if you will, on the lowest rank of the ladder, to moving into being co-creators, being founders, being leaders, being spiritual beings that actually have a say in how our collective experience is co-created. That's what we really came here for, and more people are coming to this realization. More and more people are realizing that this is what they actually came here for. It's not to gather as much material stuff as possible and to have meaningless events one after the other and to simply consume, if you will, but actually move from that into a co-creative state. And I believe it is safe to say that if I speak for this country here, America, America's worth saving. The system and our lifestyles are really not worth saving. And people clinging on to that are having a very difficult time. We have to realize that freedom is the greatest form of living, but it's also the form that requires the most personal responsibility. Because freedom truly means that you do not answer to a sovereign above you other than the Creator, which means that you express yourself freely and yet you do no harm to someone else or someone's property. That is really the highest form of responsibility. And so freedom isn't a carte blanche where you can just do what you want no matter the consequences. It is actually the highest form of living that requires spiritual education and spiritual realization, that it requires a good and sound mind, moral foundations and principles. It even requires a strong physical constitution, because living in freedom means living in personal responsibility and self-reliance. That's what we're truly moving into. I'm excited for these times, and I want to remind all of us, as we will continue to hear more alarming headlines, we will continue to see more fear and panic in those who are describing what is happening, and in the psychologists and the PR machineries behind the scenes that want us to be in a state of fear and panic. I want to remind everyone that we don't have to be that. That's where we lose our power. That's where we lose our creativity. That's where we become reactive, and we react solely from a survival, fight or flight kind of state, and that's not what we need to do. We need to be present, spiritually grounded, balanced, and come to a full realization, manifestation, and self-actualization of our true capabilities. This is what's so exciting. We either do it or don't do it. There's no more sitting it out. There's no more waiting on the sidelines. There's no more gray area here. It's a really clear decision, yes or no. You're either going to go down this path of full self-actualization, which is absolute empowerment, and it's all up to you with the Creator. There's no one else to blame. There's no one else to fall back upon. No safety net. But at the same time, when such creators that have this powerful realization come together, they create the communities, the families, the kins. They create the beautiful collaborations and the way that was always meant to be. That's what we're moving into. We're gonna see suffering and darkness all around us. That is pre-programmed. It was baked into this. Because for those who still think they can manipulate us into this dystopian future, that's what they depend on. They depend on a crisis, on suffering to present their final solution. And we the people are awakening. We're realizing this. We're moving into a greater power. That's what this is about. So once again, this comes from such a space of love. Because truly, believe me when I say I see you. When I meet people out there in the world, I look into their eyes, and what I do is I look into the real essence, spirit of who they are. That's what I want to look into. I don't care that much about the personality, the ego personality that we all develop over time, and at some point we think that's who we are. No, I'm looking into the essence. And when I look into the essence, I see beauty, I see love, I see creation. I see endless, infinite possibility. That's what I see in you. Even as I look through this camera lens, I perceive, I feel, I can breathe in your essence, and I see the potential. And it's not for me. Your potential is not for me. It's not so I can benefit from it. It is for you, and it is for our collective experience. I'm so glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. We're so grateful and thankful to be with you on this journey and to have you with us on this journey. It's a great honor, and it inspires us every day because we know how powerful you all are and how powerful we can be together. We can not just weather this storm, we're going to come out of this more empowered, more enlightened, more inspired, and greater than ever, and co-creating something so astonishing that the generations to come will look at us and will thank us, just like we in many ways thank those who've come before us and created certain amazing things that we can all hang our hats on. All right, Inspired Tribe, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, doing all the beautiful things. We love you. We'll appreciate you. We'll be back with you again shortly. We're more dedicated than ever to provide authentic, truthful, and uncensored information and inspiration. That's why we created the Inspired community on the free speech platform Locals. There's no censorship, a free flow of information, and it's more personal and intimate. And you can join us as a free member or a paid supporter. Please visit inspired.locals.com and join us today.